Welcome to Module 3 Structure of the IATF Standard. In this module, we'll explore how the IATF 16949 standard is structured. You'll understand the layout of clauses, how it aligns with ISO 9001, and where the automotive-specific additions are placed. We will also look at how the process-based approach is embedded within the standard and how different requirements are organized under various sections, like context of the organization, leadership, planning, support, operations, performance evaluation, and improvement. By understanding the structure, you'll be better prepared to implement and audit IATF 16949 effectively. IATF 16949, 2016. Like many modern management system standards, such as ISO 9001, 2015 and ISO 14001-2015, follows a common structure called Annex SL. This structure is used to create consistency across different standards. This is helpful because it allows companies to integrate multiple management systems like quality, environment, or health and safety using a shared format. The Annex SL structure is based on 10 common clauses with standardized headings and order. It also uses consistent definitions for key terms. Some of the text, especially in clauses like context of the organization, leadership, and planning, is either the same or very similar across standards. This common structure simplifies implementation, training, and audits for companies that are following multiple standards. Let's now understand the benefits of Annex SL in the context of IATF 16949. Integration. Annex SL makes it easier to combine IATF 16949 with other ISO standards like ISO 9001, ISO 14001, and ISO 45001. Since ISO 9001 is a prerequisite for IATF 16949, this alignment avoids duplication and simplifies implementation. Consistency. It promotes a standardized understanding of management system principles across different standards. Clarity. Annex SL provides a logical and uniform structure that helps organizations implement requirements more effectively. Now, let's look at the 10 clauses that form the core structure of both Annex SL and IATF 16949. 1. Scope defines what the standard applies to. 2. Normative references lists other documents essential for using the standard. 3. Terms and definitions clarifies key terms used in the standard. 4. Context of the organization helps understand internal-external factors and stakeholders. 5. Leadership involves top management's commitment and responsibilities. 6. Planning focuses on addressing risks, setting quality goals, and planning changes. Let's now look at the last 3 clauses in the Annex SL structure, which are also core to IATF 16949. 8. Operation. This clause covers operational planning and control, product and service requirements, design and development, external process control, production, service delivery, product release, and non-conformance control. 9. Performance evaluation. It includes activities like monitoring, measurement, analysis, internal audits, and management review to ensure the QMS is functioning as expected. 10th. Improvement focuses on actions related to non-conformity, corrective actions, and continual improvement. Example: if a company already has ISO 14001 environmental certification, they'll find the structure and headings in IATF 16949 familiar. For example, the Leadership Clause, Clause 5, has similar expectations for top management. This consistency helps organizations implement IATF faster. In this slide, we begin reviewing the 10 core clauses of IATF 16949. These are derived from Annex SL and align with ISO 9001-2015. This structure is the backbone of any quality management system, QMS. Clause 1. Scope defines the standard's application. Specifically, it applies to the automotive production and service parts industry, especially at locations manufacturing customer-specific parts. Clause 2. Normative references refers to ISO 9001:2015 as a mandatory reference. Any organization implementing IATF must also comply with ISO 9001. Clause 3. Terms and definitions offers specific vocabulary related to the automotive industry not covered in ISO 9000 and 0015. Clause 4. Context of the organization. Organizations must understand their internal and external environment, their stakeholders' needs, and clearly define the scope of their QMS. Example: an automotive seatbelt manufacturer must consider external risks like global supply chain disruptions, internal issues like workforce skill level, and customer or regulator expectations. Now, let's go through Clauses 5, 6, and 7 of the IATF standard. Clause 5 is about leadership. It highlights the role of top management in showing leadership and commitment to the Quality Management System, or QMS. This means they must set the quality policy, assign roles, and ensure everyone in the organization is focused on the customer. Example: like the CEO regularly reviewing performance metrics and taking part in QMS reviews, this shows their active commitment. Clause 6 is about planning. It focuses on identifying risks and opportunities related to the QMS and planning actions to address them. It also includes setting measurable objectives and planning for any changes to the system. Example: say there's a risk of machine breakdown, so a backup machine and maintenance plan is created. Also, a goal like reducing customer complaints by 10% can be set. Clause 7 talks about support. It deals with the resources needed for QMS to run smoothly. This includes trained and aware employees, buildings and equipment, the work environment, monitoring tools like calibration, and proper documentation. Example: all production line workers should be trained and certified, and all equipment must be calibrated regularly to ensure accuracy. Now let's continue with Clauses 8, 9, and 10. Clause 8, Operation. This is the largest and most detailed clause. It covers the entire product realization process from planning and customer requirements to production and control of suppliers. It also includes handling of non-conforming products. Example: think about the production part approval process, PPAP, which is a detailed check done before launching a new part into mass production. It also includes instructions on what to do with parts that don't meet quality standards. Clause 9. Performance Evaluation. This clause is about monitoring, measuring, and evaluating the QMS. It includes checking customer satisfaction, conducting audits, and holding management review meetings to assess how well the QMS is working. Example: like conducting monthly internal audits on the assembly line to ensure everything is in compliance and using customer feedback to drive improvements. Clause 10. Improvement. This focuses on dealing with problems, non-conformities, and taking corrective actions to continuously improve the QMS. It emphasizes learning from mistakes and being proactive. Example: say a customer complains about a defect. The company then finds the root cause and implements error-proofing methods to make sure it doesn't happen again. This part explains how IATF 16949 goes beyond ISO 9001 by adding automotive-specific requirements. While ISO 9001 is general and applies to any industry, IATF 16949 is much more prescriptive and tailored to the automotive sector's safety, reliability, and improvement needs. Let's look at two major additions. 1. Customer-specific requirements, CSRs. These are unique requirements set by each automotive customer, or OEM, like Maruti Suzuki or Toyota. For example, Maruti Suzuki may require a specific packaging standard for components or a specific format for submitting production reports. These are beyond normal ISO requirements and must be identified, understood, and complied with. 2. Product safety requirements. IATF mandates strict controls over parts that relate to safety, like brake systems or airbags. This includes special clauses around FMEA, control plans, special characteristics, and emergency response plans. For example, brake parts must go through detailed safety checks, design reviews, and traceability to avoid failure. These additional requirements are spread throughout the clauses, but are clearly marked as IATF specific. Let's now look at three important specific requirements under the IATF structure. Contingency plans. Organizations are required to develop backup plans for risks such as power failures, labor shortages, or unexpected external events. Example, for instance, installing a backup generator in case of power cuts, or having a second approved supplier for important raw materials. Manufacturing feasibility. Before launching a new product or process, the organization must assess if it is feasible to manufacture it consistently and reliably. Example, if a company wants to start producing a new complex car part, they must first ensure they have the right equipment, a skilled workforce, and processes to produce it at the needed quality and volume. Advanced Product Quality Planning, APQP. This is a structured method for planning product development and launch. It requires collaboration across departments and has specific deliverables. Example, like creating control plans, doing measurement system analysis (MSA), and preparing for PPAP, the production part approval process. Now let's talk about a few more specific technical requirements in the IATF structure. Production part approval process, PPAP. This ensures that production parts meet all customer engineering design and specification requirements before mass production. Example, submitting a PPAP package to the customer, including samples, design records, FMEAS, control plans, and test results, to get approval before starting production. Process control. This covers detailed requirements to control the manufacturing process, using methods like SPC, statistical process control, poka-yoke, error proofing, and standard setups. Example, like using sensors on an assembly line that stop incorrect parts from being assembled, which is a form of poka-yoke. Measurement System Analysis, MSA. MSA involves analyzing how accurate and consistent your measurement systems are. Example, auditors must be trained not only in audit methods, but also in tools like FMEA and PPAP, so they understand the full system. Warranty management. This involves handling and analyzing warranty claims to improve product quality and reduce repeat defects. Example, by studying warranty claim data, you can find recurring issues and take corrective action in the manufacturing process. This section explains the alignment between IATF 16949 and ISO 9000 and 2015. First and foremost, IATF 16949 is not a standalone standard. It is fully integrated with ISO 9001 2015. So, for any organization to be certified to IATF 16949, it must also comply with all the requirements of ISO 9001 2015. What does this mean? It means the IATF 16949 standard document includes the entire ISO 9001:2015 text, usually shown in shaded boxes, and then adds automotive-specific requirements in unshaded text. So, in simple terms, IATF builds upon ISO 9001, making it more specific for the automotive industry. Without meeting ISO 9001:2015, you cannot be certified to IATF 16949. This slide explains the foundational relationship between ISO 9001 and IATF 16949. Shared principles. Both standards are built on the same quality management principles. These include customer focus, leadership engagement of people process, approach improvement, evidence-based decision-making, relationship management. These principles ensure a consistent, quality-driven approach across both systems. Common structure, Annex SL. Both standards use the same 10-clause structure from Annex SL. This helps organizations integrate and audit multiple standards more easily. Building block approach. Think of ISO 9001 as the base or foundation. IATF 16949 builds on that foundation, with additional, more specific requirements for the automotive industry, including safety, complexity, and performance needs. Evolution from ISO/TS 16949. Earlier, there was ISO/TS 16949, which was a technical specification. Now, IATF 16949 has become a full-fledged independent standard. However, it still relies on ISO 9001:2015 as its base. This slide explains why the alignment between IATF 16949 and ISO 9001 is so crucial. There are three main reasons: efficiency, organizations that already use ISO 9000 and one don't have to duplicate efforts. The systems are aligned, which saves time and resources. Global acceptance. ISO 9001 is recognized worldwide. By aligning with it, IATF 16949 gains credibility and acceptance across global markets. Robustness. Since ISO 9001 is a mature and well-structured system, using it as a base ensures the automotive QMS is strong and reliable. Example: when an auditor comes to review a company's QMS under IATF 16949, they check both the generic ISO 9001 elements like top management review and control of documentation, and the specific IATF additions like PPAP and FMEA for automotive parts. So, the two standards are not separate, but parts of the same integrated system,